started before we really get into the meat of it. So I found this little story on the internet. I thought this was kind of fun. Pastor Tony is walking down the street on Christmas Eve when he notices Larry, a small little boy, trying to press the doorbell of a house across the street. However, Larry is very small and the doorbell is too high for him to reach. After watching the boy's efforts for some time, Pastor Tony moves closer to Larry's position. He steps smartly across the street, walks up behind the little fella, placing his hand kindly on the child's shoulder, leans over, and gives the doorbell a solid push. The doorbell rings. Crouching down to Larry's level, Pastor Tony smiles benevolently and asks, "And now what, my little man?" To which Larry replies with a beaming grin on his face, "Now run!" Grace and peace from God our Father and our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. Before I get started tonight, I just, at the beginning, I forgot to announce Carly Sowers has been at Samaritan Hospital admitted. I was up today to see him. He's doing fairly well, not out of the woods yet, but he's with a new doctor now. He was misdiagnosed with his other doctor, unfortunately, and this doctor, thankfully, by God's grace and healing, has him on the right track. It's awesome. He's doing the best he can, and he's got a long way to go, but he is getting there. So let me ask you a question. I always have a question for the congregation, right? A couple of you smile, you know what's coming. So, anybody in here anticipate receiving a Christmas gift this year? Anybody? You've all been naughty and nice? Anybody been on the nice side and not the naughty side? Well, I don't have much hope for you, I'm sorry. Well, let me ask you this question. And I'm hoping I see a lot of hands tonight. How many people made their way to the mall to sit on Santa's lap? Anybody? Did anybody pull out their tissue paper roll and they have this long list that they're going through of all the things that they want for Christmas? Well, did Santa look at you and say, "You need to take a rain check, my child. I'm taking a break because you were there so long"? Is that you? Or did anybody go up on Santa's lap and he said, "Child, get off my lap. My leg is now numb"? And I'm not talking about the kids going to see Santa. I'm talking about you adults. Kids, you're off the hook. You know, Christmas is kind of an interesting time of year, isn't it? You know, as I was flipping through newspapers this past week, I was kind of amazed at how heavy these things were as I walked out to the road each morning at 5 o'clock. Yes, 5 o'clock. I get up early. And I go out and pull that newspaper out of the box, and it almost barely fits because it's crammed full of advertisements. Anybody ever have that problem? And then they drop on the road and you expect to have to pick them up because I don't want to hear it from my dad that we didn't recycle. So we've been teaching this congregation how to recycle. But isn't it funny how we can't miss those bargains going on in the paper, can we? We're attracted to those things. We see these big, bold headlines, 50% off. Well, how about those of you who shop till you drink? Is anybody going to be out shopping tonight? Does anybody remember that one? I see some smiles. There's a couple of you. I remember Michael J. Fox, if you remember that show that he was on way back in the 80s. And he was kind of being Scrooge. Remember that? And he had to go down to the 7-Eleven to buy his family Christmas gifts on Christmas Eve. So he got his mom a magazine and his dad a candy bar. And, well, that's not too bad of a gift if you ask me. But how about those of you who went online this year? Wasn't that a bargain? You got free shipping. That was pretty nice. But my whole point is, as we prepare for Christmas, and in fact, some of you are still preparing. I'm sure you'll be out shopping as soon as we get done tonight. I'm sure you're telling me mentally, you better hurry up with that sermon. I still got a lot of shopping to do. You know, but Christmas preparation is absolutely nuts. I hate going out shopping. I can't stand being in the stores right now. There's too many people. And then the bad part is you see too many people, and then you got to stop and talk to them. And you got groceries in your car. Now you got to go back and get another gallon of milk because it's already spoiled because you've been there so long. That stresses me out. Did anybody get stressed out this year? Then you need to listen to this message today. Christmas is supposed to be a relaxing time. You're saying, right. It's supposed to be filled for celebration. It's time to have fun. It's time to go out and party. How many people, and I won't expect you to raise your hands, but back in the 1980s, this group called Kool and the Gang had a song out called Celebration. Anybody know this one? Celebrate good times. Come on. You didn't get out of those weddings and get her down? Wow. You guys lead a boring life. We're going to have to spice it up in this congregation a little bit. Never thought you'd laugh at Christmas Eve service, did you? But you know, what is Christmas all about? Does anybody know? In my opinion, it's about celebrating the birthday of Jesus Christ. It's remembering his birth. How simple can that be? You know, when I think about the craziness of birthday parties, I'll try to bring it a little more relevant for some of us in the room tonight. How many people have ever watched MTV, this show called My Sweet 16th Birthday? Anybody willing to admit you've seen it? Hey, there we go. I figured some of our younger crowd would say, yeah, I've watched it. Well, I happened to come across it a couple weeks ago, and I thought it was kind of funny. I hadn't even put this sermon together yet, and here was this TV program, and I can't remember that I'm actually remembering some of this, but the whole point behind it, wow, that was a good one. You just wait till Kemmer comes around. We're going to have a challenge. But here for this MTV show, it's all about these kids who are turning the Sweet 16, right? And help me if I'm wrong on any of this, okay? But here are these wealthy parents, typically. They're not picking just the common, ordinary folk, right? I mean, they have to pick these people that have millions of dollars, and everything is extravagant. I mean, we're talking the best of the best. Life, luxury, the best birthday party probably a 16-year-old could probably dream of. No thanks. All I wanted was the driver's license. Well, here we are catching a glimpse of this show, and we watch as they focus on this girl who's turning the Sweet 16, right? I haven't yet seen a boy party yet. It's always been on the girls. Maybe it's because of all the drama. Well, that show was full of drama. And it's this girl stressing out. I mean, she's flipping out. It's like that, what's that wedding thing where the girls are on there and or the bridezillas. That's a fun show. Talk about stress. Well, here's this show. It continues on, and this girl worries about who she's going to invite. What kind of clothes are the people going to... Oh, yeah, they dictate what the people are going to wear when they come to this party. Now, that's going a little far. And they have to pick the perfect location. They have to pick the perfect band. They have to do this. I have to have the perfect limo, and it just can't be a regular limo. It has to be a Hummer limo. And, of course, this show could not go on without drama. It wouldn't make it on TV otherwise, would it? Does anybody in this room, in this congregation today, ever have drama in your family? Anybody? No. Well, let me take you back to a show many of you have probably seen on TV for a while. Anybody remember the Griswold family Christmas? The great aunt brings the cat food Jello bowl. And the cat suddenly behind the tree, chasing the squirrel, and then found the electric cord and chews on it. And what happens? Poof! Up goes the tree. I don't see a cat, so we're safe. Then there's Cousin Eddie. I hate to tell you, I think I passed him out in the street because the septic sewer and the septic tank needed empty, right? Is that the perfect Christmas if there is ever one? I think it's pretty cool, but it's not the perfect Christmas. So what does the perfect Christmas look like this year? You know, our country's economy is in the stinkers. I don't know too many people that 401ks are doing really well right now, are they? And in fact, many folks are in transition. Their lives are transforming because they're out of work. They've lost their homes. Some of them have lost their families. They're in transition. And you know, it brings to thought Monday. Many from this congregation came from here and went up to Berea Children's Home up in Cleveland. And for those of you next year, all I can encourage you to do is join us when we go up. It was an experience of a lifetime. And now I know why Sarah and Becca and all the ladies get so involved up there to watch the love on these kids' faces. And there was a story of one kid while we were up there that kind of tore my heart apart. And I'll try not to bawl through this one because I was at home writing this message and I did. But as we were giving these gifts out, this kid, and I hope I have it all right, but it sounds good anyways the way I say it. This kid received his bag. And you know, what happens is we had 27 bags of gifts. And 25, thank you. 27 sounds better. And these stockings that were packed full, and blankets that this congregation worked on for many, many months. And we sent a bunch down to Cranks Creek too. But these are kids that are on their own. If they didn't have the Berea Children's Home, who knows where they'd be. But this kid was given his package. And he wasn't opening it. He wanted to give it back. And the only thing he wanted for Christmas was his family. It breaks your heart. Here's a kid that would be excited. He'd want to open this bag and see what's inside. But all he wanted was his mom and dad. Oh, doesn't that reach your heart? Doesn't that make you feel like, I have enough? What else do I need in life? You know, I watch as people literally get themselves into debt for Christmas. People think they have to go out and spend $5,000 for their family for Christmas. Why? Because I bought an ATV last year for little Johnny, and if I don't buy one this year, he'll go psycho. And I don't want to hear it. He'll yell and he'll scream and have a temper tantrum, and I won't know what to do, and I'll feel inadequate as a parent. And you know, we had to cut people off for Camry this year and say, just take it easy, okay? But that's okay because we have so much. You know, what does it take to make people happy? Here's this kid in a bag full of stuff. And all that will make him happy is his mom and dad who don't want him. Believe me, I want to snatch that kid up and bring him home.